Welcome back to Coffee Talk with Brandy. I'm here with Kathleen, my guest host, and we are in our duck gear.
Yay.
Go Ducks! I used to work for the duck store.
That's right.
In 2012,
did.
which I got.
Oh.
I got all.
Did you get this there?
I did.
Nice. Thank you for letting me borrow it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Cool.
Duck gear was the best. Working at Oregon Duck Games, oh my gosh, I had so much fun. Like me and like 20,000 people, and you're trying to get them through the line really fast. And I'm really good on the till, with the money, the till. Is that the till? Is that what they call them these days?
That's what they call a cash wrap register.
Cash register.
Cashier. Yeah. Anyway.
It used to be till. A till. What a weird word. Just laughing at myself saying that. The till. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I used to work at the duck store. So in our duck gear, supporting our ducks, and the former duck. Sorry,
welcome. One. That's right to me. Whoop, whoop. I was the mascot,
and she's freezing here. We are cold. We've said that before, but that's okay. So today,
but it is winter.
It is winter, February.
So
right,
it is. It's supposed to be cold,
right?
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know when this will air, right? But today it's true. February.
So. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna post this in 3 months when it's the springtime.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Maybe spring.
Then we have to say, oh, we're just chilly on this very chilly April day.
Well, sometimes it snows here in March, so it has happened. But
well, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, so excited. I've got
our mugs. I've claimed this. Cheers.
Unplug, and I've showed this before. No drama for this. No drama for this llama. That's so funny. Drama. Like I'm not drama, right? But I mean,
everybody's drama. Everybody is.
How do we shift it from drama to?
But it has a negative connotation.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's true. Like people say, "Oh, don't be so dramatic." Ooh, that's a good topic too. Maybe. Like, don't be so dramatic. I mean, how often have we heard that as children?
Which calm down.
Yeah.
You like that one too? I know. Right? Yeah, I knew I'd get that message. Just calm down.
Nobody in the history
does it. Oh, go ahead, finish.
No, it's okay.
No, go ahead and finish, because otherwise I'm going to finish and say exactly what you were going to say.
I know. Nobody calms down. And why is that? Let's talk about that.
I think that's a great topic.
Right? We were going to talk about something else. And maybe we can talk about the next.
Now we need to talk about this.
Yes. Like, how do we come to the moment when our lids are flipped, right? So
it's called amygdala hijack.
Yeah. So here's the thing. When any one of us are angry, let's pretend this is our brain, right? And this is the amygdala, right? Down here. And this right here on the top, that's our prefrontal cortex. And it's the last to come online to grow. Like, we've learned that our brain doesn't stop growing until we're 26-ish, maybe 27. And so that's when all of our thinking skills have come on, right? And that's what the prefrontal cortex is. All of those thinking skills, which we can all continue to learn as we're growing. But when any one of us is angry, our lid is flipped. Dun, 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 dun. So let's just say this is our flipped lid. And as you were talking about the amygdala hijack.
Right.
All of these thinking skills go offline. They are inaccessible. So when we're angry, we say things we don't mean, right? Have you ever wondered, in the moment of anger, you've said something and you don't mean it, and then 2 hours later, like, why did I say that?
I think if you really want to know, to be completely honest, there were times where I would get so angry. You're right, my amygdala was hijacked.
Yeah.
That I would be talking, but I wouldn't make any sense.
Oh yeah. Because those thinking skills are gone, right?
Right.
But that's a good thing to talk about. Like, how do we calm ourselves down? How do we? But nobody's going to be calmed down when you're invalidated, and especially when you're in the heat of the moment, if you're angry.
But that's it. That's the issue is that why do we bristle when we're told to calm down? It's because our feelings are being negated. And basically somebody is telling you, you shouldn't feel that way. You don't get to feel that way. And those aren't appropriate emotions, right? If you had space to be angry or frustrated or whatever that emotion is, then you wouldn't be told to calm down or stop being so dramatic.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? In anything, especially anger, We do. We have this negative connotation
Yes.
in our society. And anger,
Mm-hmm.
any emotion that we have, anything that comes up is there to share with us something.
Mm-hmm.
So the anger that presents, number one, anger is a secondary emotion. So it means like you have anger, but there's something underlining
Mm-hmm.
under it, like, right? So let's say your kid is playing out in the street, the ball goes out in the street and a car's
Mm-hmm.
coming and your kid's running. You're angry, number one, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get out of the street, you don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're angry, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you take the layer of anger off and look underneath it, what's there?
Fear.
Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the
Mm-hmm.
anger exists for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important to have those.
Mm-hmm.
But so what does it look like? Like maybe we could do a role model example on the fly. Like, do you want to be the angry person or do you want me to be it? And
you go ahead.
To be angry?
Yeah, you go ahead.
You freaking stupid person! God, I hate you! You don't ever listen to me or don't. I'm so angry at you. Just go. This doesn't work, right?
No, it doesn't work. But here's where I would say, help me understand.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're really, really upset about something.
Yeah.
Was it something that I did?
Yeah.
So, and we talked about this before, but the power of asking questions.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody's upset, yelling, or even just stewing, because I've got teenagers. I got a teenager. I'm gonna have another one soon, and never mind, right?
Yeah.
I get that. So I always say, well, help me understand what's going on, or just identifying that somebody's angry, right? You're not listening to me. I told you to do this and this and this. Oh, it sounds like you're upset with me.
Yeah.
So in your experience, you're right. Where do you go from there? Is that what you do with your kids if you're upset or you feel upset?
Oh.
Or if they feel upset? I ask questions. I say,
oh, yeah.
Well, tell me more about that. Those are the three best words. Well, tell me more. Yeah. Teenagers don't want to tell you anything. So usually that kind of ends it. But to try to de-escalate, I never say calm down.
Oh, yeah.
And I never say don't be dramatic. I think those statements create a confusion with the person who's angry, because what it is, it's saying, again, I'm invalidating you, but I'm making it about me now. I'm not the angry person, but I'm going to tell you what to do because I want you to calm down. I want you to stop being dramatic, and I want it to be about me. If you stop doing these things, then I'll feel comfortable because I'm uncomfortable with your anger and I don't know how to address it. But people don't say that.
Right. But again, that's becoming self-aware. And I just kind of going with you're saying, like, I'm uncomfortable. Ding, 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 ding. When people are uncomfortable with emotions or feelings that other people are expressing, they don't want to be around it because they have shut themselves off from allowing emotions to flow freely.
Oh, that's so true.
Well, and I just think
Can I give you an example of that?
Yeah.
So I had a family member who was afraid and was expressing fear. And then I had another family member tell this family member, don't be afraid. And told them, well, this is why you shouldn't be afraid. Basically, the one family member was saying, you shouldn't be afraid because I'm not afraid. And this is why I'm not afraid. So you shouldn't be afraid. And so then I got involved because I saw the interaction and I understood. Yeah. I'm like, I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I had a deathly fear of dogs, all dogs. I had been, not mauled or anything like that, but dogs were lunging at me. They would chase me down. I had a paper route and I had to walk by this dog that was chained and would lunge at me and choke itself trying to bite me. And then there were dogs in the neighborhood again that I had to walk by because they had to be muzzled and caged, because if they got out, then they would attack. Yeah. And then there was this other dog in the neighborhood that when it got off the leash, it chased me. So I could multiple times over and over and over. The theme was being chased by dogs because dogs are going to bite me. So it created this fear. Right. The problem that I had was having to listen to people tell me, well, just don't be afraid. Don't you know dogs can smell your fear?
Yeah.
If you just aren't afraid of them, they won't chase you. So it created like, wait, you think I can solve that? I can solve my own problem in this way, and I can't. So the interaction between the two family members, I had to change the dialogue. I couldn't let the family member who wasn't afraid try to tell the other one who was afraid that it wasn't okay to be afraid. So then I said, are you uncomfortable with fear? Is it okay that this family member expresses fear? Because if it isn't, and it makes you nervous, then let's have a discussion on that. In which case the family said, no, it's not that, it's this, right?
Yeah.
And it was the end of the discussion because they didn't really want to talk about their own emotions.
Sure.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
But it was exactly like you said.
Yeah. And it's great to, especially to meet people where they're at. So, I mean, if somebody's not ready to talk about something, like,
oh, don't press it.
Be with them in that, because
right.
people, you can't force them to be ready. What helps people to be ready is to be seen and heard.
Right. And in which case I was able to do that
Yeah.
for the family member who was fearful and address that. I was also able to allow the other family member to ask those questions, but also to engage in a dialogue that ended quickly, and it was resolved without criticizing either person.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's all learning, right? We're all learning. I'm still learning to this day. It's learning is endless. And when it comes to like things like we were just talking about, anger and like nothing,
right.
What calms people down, like I really like the word de-escalation, because I've been to a number of trainings on de-escalation, especially working in the mental health field. You know, even with customers or people, if you're working in that, right? I mean, it's not acceptable for somebody to just come in and lash out at you. I wouldn't want that. I can see our lights went off back there.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
let's keep going.
Kind of a distraction. But when we have that, again, it's not acceptable. I'm not saying, you know, have people, it's okay for people to lash out at you. However, it happens all the time, right? If you happen to be on the receiving end of something like that, take a moment, number one, if you want to learn how to de-escalate, and learn to validate their feelings. Now, validation is very similar to empathy. It looks like, I see that you're really angry right now, or I can tell this dog created a lot of fear within you. You know, I'm here to listen.
I like that you start out with just identify the emotion.
Yeah.
How about this? I know you have teenagers.
Yeah.
I've got a teenager. Trying to identify emotions with teenagers. I'm not mad. Okay. Right? They want to argue. They want to say, you know, you don't know what's going on. But at least it starts the dialogue going so that you can find out, okay, well, if you're not angry, then what is it?
Yeah.
Because it could be that, like you said, they're manifesting anger, but they're really afraid.
Yeah.
They're concerned. They're nervous. Yeah. And it's expressing itself as anger.
Right. Well, and I think this is so important to, again, ask that question, well, what are you feeling? Right. And giving people that space to kind of figure out, again, they may not want to answer you right there, but that brain will want to answer every question you ask it. So being able to be aware that there's like 25,000 different emotions, I don't know how many, but there's so many different emotions and feelings that are all around us. But we've been taught to only allow a certain amount, especially boys. Boys are allowed anger. And there's two main ones, anger and why would I not?
I don't know.
There's only two emotions.
There's only one. No, there's one because we forgot.
I don't recall the other one, but in general,
right.
Boys are allowed two emotions.
Right, but like you said, anger is acceptable.
Yeah.
In boys, and so that really restricts boys who then become men to have any emotions whatsoever.
Right.
Or to express anything except what is considered acceptable.
Right. And how do we create an environment for men to, number one, heal, and men to be able to allow themselves the space to feel the emotions that they're feeling?
That's great. That's a great question. You and I both have sons.
Yeah.
So then what do we do as mothers to help cultivate an emotional safety net and a sense of emotional safety, whether or not they want to express it? That's okay.
Yeah.
But that they know that they can express emotional safety.
Yeah.
That actually has to do with how willing are you and I as mothers to then, when people around us are expressing anger, to then ask questions and de-escalate and be conscientious enough and self-aware that we have to de-escalate so that our sons can grow up knowing that they have a multitude of emotions that they can express and safely do so inside the home, where that's supposed to be the safest place.
Yeah. And they will choose people to be around who will mimic that pattern.
Exactly. So that we create those healthy relationships so that our children, and you're right, exactly, manifest those healthy relationships and choose people who will also help that.
Right. And it does start in the home. And I'm still learning. And so it's like, we do have the ability, like when we become self-aware, it changes the trajectory for people in our path, our children, our friends, our people, people that we interact with. So becoming aware of who we are not only helps ourselves, but it helps us collectively as people in the community, as the world, all of these things, which are so important. And it's just like, I have a soft spot. Number one, I've been in the single dating world, like I said, for 11 years, and it's really been challenging. But what I have noticed is that, yes, there's players and all of that, and I know that that's just another topic, but there is a lot of amazing men who've allowed themselves to be vulnerable and open up to me because I've offered that safe space. And to be able to be somebody who's safe enough in the presence of a man who's sharing vulnerability is literally one of the most beautiful things I have ever experienced. It really is, because men, sometimes they don't even realize that they've never been validated, listened to, or heard.
Right.
And so when you're in that moment, and again, it's like, I'm naturally this way. You and I talk all the time, and this is
just how we talk.
It's so true, because this is who I am as a person.
Right.
So, maybe this is why I am single, because I can't stay surface and I go deep. So I will notice when somebody's feeling off, and I'll be like, gosh, you know what? Seems like really hard. Can you tell me more about that? And it's not meaning to be therapeutic. No. I am not. This is just me. I'm curious. Yeah. I want to be able to hold space for people.
I like that you say that.
Yeah.
It is so important that it's an emotional space, that it exists, whether it manifests itself physically or mentally, right? That there is space that you create and to allow others to be in that space too.
Yeah. Well, and holding space is, people often don't know how to hold that space. So when you come in the presence of somebody that knows how to hold space, it is the biggest gift to give to people. It really is, because we've come and grown up again where we've been invalidated so often.
Right.
And the biggest catalyst to move forward in healing is to finally be heard. And so it's just like, when we're in a situation, when we're escalated and frustrated, I've learned my son needs time. When he's escalated, I cannot calm him down. He has to calm down on his own, and then I can come in. But I had to learn that because I was trying to de-escalate it. So, it's those things, that learning all of that is, it's a beautiful thing.
I think that's a great example. I had a similar experience with my son as well. And I, in a physical sense, would go after him, not angry, right? No, we got to resolve this. We got to resolve this. So I'd follow him into his bedroom because I wanted to talk about it, right? Because I'm ready to talk. What I didn't understand was that he needed time by himself alone to process it. And he didn't want me to, he would come out when he was ready, and I needed to allow him that. And that wasn't the solution I wanted or what I was looking for. But I had to know that was the solution that worked for him. And if I was going to have a resolution, it had to be on his terms, knowing that he knew we were going to talk about the situation. I knew that it wasn't going to be right then and there, that I had to wait 20, 30 minutes. And that's what we do. When he needs time to himself, I'm okay, good. Because you're going to come back. And when you're ready, I'm ready too.
Yeah, that time and learning how other people function is so good, because
it's respect. It's boundaries and respect.
Boundaries and respect.
That's
such great competitions for the next time.
Yes.
And maybe we'll get there. So
we will.
Exactly. So to wrap this up, if you like the content, please subscribe. Come follow me. Help me to build the community that I so desire to build with every one of you. Please feel free to ask questions right into my email. I'll leave it in the link below and give you a link to my Instagram and come along with us on this journey. But for anybody in the next week, just be curious with yourself, be curious with other people. Start to cultivate curiosity. Curiosity over judgment will help us to move forward as ourselves and collectively as a whole. So have a beautiful day, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Sounds good.
Cheers.